Life is spiritual, good people, I tell you. I asked Ntatesa to call me, and my phone rang, and the video cut, and I forgot to put it on flight mode. And secondly, just as I was about to do another part two, then my phone's battery about to die. That's why I'm saying life is spiritual. I see you, I feel you, I hear you, I got you. Gosh, like literally the temperature in my Dumba just went Alaska. But I told you that we are not ready as a nation for such things. So, Untata Situnze, guys, right? The Lozi Bay, the Lozi Hunk, the mastermind. He was a distributor in Nebo, rather in Nebo. Oh gosh. Being a distributor in Nebo or in Gebo, right? Ekona, eya bega nayo. So other people were looking at that as a dark thing because remember when religion came, abantu abamnyama before that, you were able to connect nezinto ezijulile zomdali. Abanikazi bendawo, wealth was sufficient, everything. So everything was sustained and nature was preserved and protected because that is how the flow was going. So it's colonization umingena ngevosho. What happened was that people were taught to see or rather view anything related to the figure or rather the creature of the serpent as dirty or demonic, and you were told that there's a devil and then devil has got this type of a thing and etc. It's even what you think is devil is not necessarily devil. There is a dark side to the spiritual world and there is a light side, right? So coming back to the topic at hand, so izinto zasemanzini noma abanikazi bamanzi ukuthwala kuyahluka, right? Whereby kuba kusuke kuyinto eniyitholile emntwini anicaphunele inhlanhla, but you need to know that loyo mnikazi wamanzi you'll forever be indebted to. So it differs nakhona, or maybe kunendlela efuna ukuthi uphile ngayo. For example, imfihlo eyabantu abedlozi abathwele is that it is very rare ukuthi uthi unedlozi, unedoda, and all of that, etc. Because abantu bamanzi always want purity. They will give you the heart's desires, but faka uJohannes or Abraham phambi kwakho uzowuzwa umoya uthatha isigubhu usifake endumbeni. You will hear the wind because that is how usuke uthwele. And mawuthwele as umntwana wedlozi, you must always be clean, you must always be pure. Awukwazi ukwenza izinto because izinto zakho zi-translated. So why I always come to the, you know, the sometimes the argument of this thing, I think just think sometimes we don't reason and I don't blame you and don't blame me. We come from different spiritual realms and it's got nothing to do with you. It's just that how we see things spiritually. So that is why I was telling you that umuntu onedlozi ukanje because uhamba nabantu abasemanzini, right? And all of that. So kuyahluka nokuhlukana because uzobabona abantu abanenzunza angeke ube muhle, uba muhle. You always, everything about you is different. You are always this type of a person and etc. and etc. But I won't go into that now. So even kunokuthwala okukhona whereby usuke uphiwe nje umnikazi wamanzi akuthandile, maybe asithi umkhulu wakho or wena, you walking and you meet this person akuphe this thing and you are being told ukuthi respect this 1 2 and 3 because as much as nathi sinje abanikazi bamanzi abanamadoda abanabafazi, that's what you need to know. And 2, they're living in their designated area and their lives are isolated. Ukuthi bagade but ingcebo banayo uzoyithola yonke into oyifunayo but kuyimfihlo khona. So because the colonization came through and that is why they taken over. That is why in my video of Amanzi I was telling you that why labantu noma people of a certain, you know, abantu besingisi nje, they will always tell you something ngamanzi. They will always bafuna ukwakha ngaphambi kwamanzi and nina niyasaba nigijimela ukuyohlala emkhukhwini ovuzayo and you're being told ukuthi laphana kunenyoka kumele uyisabe because the Bible told you ukuthi a serpent is a creature to fear. That is why our people will not be liberated spiritually because religion caused you to think that poverty is a norm because of the man you were following of his ways of poverty. Now that is in your mind, thinking that poverty is what is going to set you free. No. I man, no. This needs a belt or a something or a clip drift or something. We're not ready for this as a nation. So, where I'm going with this, right? Bese uzothola ukuthi abantu abanemasonto amakhulu whatever uma beyokhuleka baya emanzini noma bazongibelisa because they know the powers that are there. But nina abalandeli, because that is why I always say, you will abalandeli, they always poor. Nihlezi nithembisa amanga because if you can check in religious in churches, you're being told ngezitha, you're being told ngabaloyi, you're never being told of the powers you have and what you can unlock with your spiritual potential. And ingcebo as umuntu omnyama, how far you can go to achieve it and maintain it and secure it and boom, secure the spiritual bag. You're never being told lezo zinto lezo, but you're being told to sacrifice yourself and sacrifice whatever it is idlozi lakho elikulethela nebunzimeni uyindlulisele kuye lo muntu loyo, and they tell you that they are blessed, they are anointed, kanti no, bayahamba bayokhuleka bayothatha amandla. No man, even kancane. So where I'm going with this, so kuyahlukana. So as I was telling you in the part 1, I think we're gonna have 4 parts of all of this because it's just too much for me. But I was raised in ekhayeni labekuthwele. Don't ask me how, where, and why. And remember ukuthi umuntu sometimes makayofuna ukuthwala kusuke kuyisimo sasekhaya, whereby manje there's also a dark side to it. Uyathwala ngesilwane. There is a black magic ke la sesikhuluma nge-black magic ebakhona la into ifuna khona that can produce the wealth ebakhona, but it is of darkness because into khona what it does or what it needs from you, it needs sacrifices of umndeni wakho, or rather izinto ezikathizeni, or rather umuhamba izinto zakhona ziyaphela. It's always doomed and it never continues, because sometimes if uthwele mhlawumbe unikezwe umuntu amanzi uma uthande wena and no one's going to take over from that because they will not respect whatever it is. But uma ngabe nithwele ngesilwane, that is also going to be the case. I don't know why I'm speaking so fast. Don't worry, I'm not here spiritually, I am downloading the information. So what is going to be happening is that uzohamba uyothwala, but you must know that you are sacrificing your life spiritually, sacrificing your family, sacrificing yourself, because this is an entity of a certain caliber of the spiritual world, and it needs you to maintain and worship it so that uzokwazi to maintain whatever successes you have. So all of those successes eziza ngaleyo ndlela leyo are very, very, crazy, because if you just cross one line, you die, or your family, whatever the case might be. So that is the darkness to the side of it. So there is light and then there is darkness. So thina mangithi sithwele ezabangoma, uyahlaba every year, whether uyathanda uthandi. You're doing something related to slaughtering, and it is not because of there is a juju that we are representing, but it is because umthetho sukukhona. Indlela yethu, I want to explain to you why ngihlaba every day, or why ngihlaba every year, or why lapha benzo. You don't know what we are doing when you're not looking. So kubese kuba nokuthwala kwalendlela eye black magic, whereby you living with a certain creature in the house that sometimes sleep with you, or ikutshele ukuthi sleep with certain number of women, because it has become a norm with our society that because of poverty now people are unlocking this path of ukuthwala, and they are undergoing things ngendlela engekho right, whereby now so uthatha isilwane esikwenza ukuthi ujole namantombazana noma ube a certain way, or you transforming and acting to this. So it is also an imitation of the serpent, or rather inyoka, whereby you told ukuthi umuntu unenyoka, look at it and think it's a snake, but spiritually it's something else, because it's an entity that came through a spiritual portal that needs to be served, because anything of the dark world requires a certain level of sacrifice and serving. It's a lot. So ukuthwala kuza ngeindlela ezahlukahlukene. So now as a person that I always say, Guti, you saying I have a calling. Ukholwe kanjani gogo, because lana uyothwala lendlela inzima, because eyethi indlela uthwalela abantu wena akusebenzeli into yakho ithwele. Ayikusebenzeli but uthwalele abantu. Right? But whereas abantu that have acquired wealth through ngaleyo ndlela, maybe kunomnikazi wamanzi of a certain place, you live a life, but probably it encouraged you to expand, ingcebo ikhule, go into business, have wives, have all of these things, because you are expanding. Then in that family, whatever the case, kunengane esukikhetha. Then when it comes to the religious aspects of it, the founder or whoever, umfundisi, dies, and Ketu Budwake, who was a total drunkard, to take over the church, because whatever is there is suge ingeko ingahambi ngokuthi ifuna umuntu owumndeni basically izophathwa i-bloodline esuka ikhona lapho. So after lapho if ayisaphathwa i-bloodline into kanjalo iyaphela. So nakhona they distract you and tell you ukuthi amadlozi awekho, whereas bona they believing ukuthi their founder was what and they still call their names, where else you being told ukuthi umkhulu wakho we-Dobbs doesn't exist. So I think it's all of those double standards is corner. You know, I sit here and I speak these things with vindication, or rather, I know what I'm saying, and I don't care. I've received it straight, whatever the case might be, and we passed that stage. Like, I'm the advocate and I will stand for what I say because ngiyayazi, you know, into things if it hurts, find yourself some new shoes. If the shoe fits, then find yourself a bigger size or something. But it is the reality eba corner. That is why you find Guti, whereas some people go through the extreme lengths whereby they have gifts but acquired through black magic, whereby gunezinto that are being used, you know, they say they are gifted or they are called ganti. They're using certain things to connect to the spiritual world. So it can either work for you physically or spiritually. So you know that you are benefiting from umsamo. Basically, the umsamo khona we black magic, and then kukhona umsamo of imfihlakalo zikaMdali. Kone umnikazi wamalahle loyo azifaka zibuya nodaka, because I only say moya laphana fuzo ube nesibindi sase London or something along those lines, because that is a very strict person and you have to go through an extreme length, especially if mhlambe ufuna ukuthwala along those lines and etc. You know, to get there you need to be very strong and ready. So that is why even ngoba nathi masiye emanzini siyazila, because ngithwele mele ngihloniphe into zami. So you should know that as a person, that when you encounter someone like us, or you have ekhaya nilalento leyo eyedlozi or whatever, nithwele, because into yeni hamba namanzi negazi and yinto khona. So mina I'm not here to speak about these long words or whatever the case might be, but yinto khona bese bathi unamadlozi but awunawo umdawo. They just need to make you understand. That is why I was telling Gogo Amguts, I don't think I'll be able to carry out proper upsangoma ukuthwasisa per se, right? Because I just feel my spiritual reasoning needs you to be open-minded to a certain level. You're gonna learn certain things that are deep of a spiritual level, whereas you are coming and expecting the norm, ukamisa, and to dance until your feet hurt, where else you are being schooled of the spiritual. So that is why I offer mentorships, because that is how far I can go for now spiritually. I am also learning every day spiritually. I cannot teach someone ukuba isangoma, because you have to come to me uma utwele ufana nami ngokomoya ngokwedlozi, nawe uhamba nomnikazi of a certain caliber kunezinto ezijulile esihlukana nawo. If you're just a normal Jane and uzitshela ukuthi unamadlozi and ufuna ukuthwasa bathi unomkhosi or unomdawo or unomnguni, I can't help you, because into engiziproducayo it's things of a certain way. Even when it comes to izinto engisebenza ngazo or whatever, ngalethelwa mina nami umnikazi okhona ongisebenzisayo. So I don't see anything wrong with that particular sense, but into zikhona, it is just there. So you cannot be pointing fingers. I always feel good to the people that are always pointing. They don't necessarily understand isn't of the spiritual, but sometimes it's a disgrace that we have to sit here and have to explain ourselves and be like, okay, this is the situation at hand. That is why even to a certain extent, deep people, deep. I can only sit here and tell you about all of these things, but it's just the way it is, honestly. So for today, this is where we're gonna leave the session, and this is how we're gonna leave the session, and it's a food for thought, honestly. And I salute abantu abahambe khanya nabayenza izinto ngokukhanya, and don't always think of everything in a negative light or for whatever the case might be. You know, ezinye izinto, it is important to know the whys we are doing them, so that you can have a greater sense of spiritual inclination. But other than that, I am Mpwabajimu, the advocate of Ilozi, and I thank you so much. This was my last video on YouTube. I'm just kidding. I had to say that. Just wanted you to get some hype. blood or something. But I'll be back with more content. It's just that I am going into, like I did say, 2 videos in one day. The work continues, we don't stop. So I'm also in my week of transition, so I might be coming through, pulling through, looking like a whole total Rambo Arnold Schwarzenegger. Please understand that I am going through a phase of my losies are pregnant, so it's about to pop. So don't come here if you don't see my week anymore, and don't ask me anything, but just listen to the voice and you'll be okay. But I thank you so much for the time that you're putting through. So please leave your comments down below. If you're watching this video, please go to the first one, because Untata Situnzo called me and wakata a video too short. So let us be brave and bold in our spirituality. That is the power we need to take as a people. And so, particularly because of the reasons I have, I will not serve under anyone. My laws is, or rather my spiritual life is independent like that. If you think like that, you will rise. But some people, out of desperation, because you're going into the dark side. Because I always say desperation doesn't work in the spiritual realm. You'll end up uthola decisions are wrong. And sometimes utyahambu yotwala thola ukuthi unamadlozi angazwanini shit, and lezo zinto leza zikusebenzeli, instead they just turn back, and you getting out of that cult or whatever it is kunzima. You are easily led into the dark path and uzithole lapho sowungenye indlela. But other than that, thank you so much for watching my video. I am Pobadimu, the advocate of Ilozi, and once again, this was another Oh My Lozi video. I appreciate Amadlozwami. I love them to bits. They know, and I thank them daily for every time we are growing spiritually. And to everyone that still comes to this channel and visits, thank you so much. Don't forget to watch all my ads throughout the videos, because that is how I secure the bag, right? That is how I secure the bag on these YouTube streets. So watch all the videos and continue to watch all the ads. And thank you so much. Watch all my videos till the end. Whether you're using Wi-Fi kamlungu, noma usekaya, noma owini, make sure that you're watching my videos. So thank you so much for coming through. Thokozani.